The Indianapolis Colts at 8-2 are about this far away from securing a playoff spot, but the last 7 games are not going to be easy, including this Sunday's game at Arrowhead Stadium against one of the better teams in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs. Do not let the 5-5 record fool you. This team can play, this team can score, and at Arrowhead Stadium, they are really, really, really tough to beat. We're going to talk about the Colts' path to the playoffs, the chances of them getting there, and how they need to go about the process of getting that done. Talk about that. We'll talk about Fernando Mendoza, HeisMendoza, all over the media yesterday. I would assume he's going to be all over the media this week to make his case for the Heisman. Signetti's making his case. Everybody is taking to the media to try to make the case for Fernando Mendoza to win the Heisman. He and Julian saying are right, even Steven. You look at the statistics, you look at their success rate in terms of wins and losses, both these guys within a hair's width of each other. We'll talk about Fernando Mendoza. We'll talk about Purdue basketball back to number 1, despite the fact that Houston didn't lose. You go to Alabama and beat the top 10 Crimson Tide, you have earned a little bit of respect. Purdue got it in the form of that number 1 ranking. It doesn't mean a damn thing in November. We know that. But because it is how you finish. It's not how you start. But being number 1 is kind of fun. Indiana has been number 1. The last time they were number 1, 2013. The time before that, 1993. Like, they have not been the number 1 team in the country a lot. Purdue has kind of rented property in the number 1 spot in the country, and we don't begrudge them that at all. They're the best team in the country right now. Get better soon. DeForest, absolutely. Toby says, Hoosier, let's go Colts. Yes, yes, yes. We'll talk about the Pacers, who got beat again last night. Pacers fought last night. Benedict Mathurin trying to lift that team 25 points in 25 minutes. He was kind of good, minus the fouls. They just couldn't get over the top of the Detroit Pistons. Joseph Clearwater says, good morning, Ken. Smash the like. Yes. Cheapest tickets I can find for the Bucket game, $90 a ticket. Don't buy them now. Wait for that market to settle. And it will settle because there are a lot of students who are going to be off that campus. They're going to sell their tickets. A lot of people have holiday kind of activities planned. They're going to sell their tickets. Right now, they're trying to get the big money. Next Thursday, next Wednesday, those ticket prices are going to come down. At least that's my feel for the market. This is Breakfast with Kent on a 2-Bell Tuesday. Let's go. Ring the bells. Brought to you by the great people at YouTube TV. Back to normal. They got everything. ESPN, ABC, Disney. That whole kerfuffle has ended with a win for YouTube TV subscribers, because ESPN came to the table and said, all right, you know what? Okay, all right, I need you more than you need me, and so let's get this thing done in the way that you want it done, Google. You're going to sit at the table with Google and argue about shekels? What are you doing? Anyway, go to the show description after this live is over, use the link, and you get $15 off your first month subscription. How about that? That is value, people. Also, become a member, because membership's cool, and you get a lot of stuff with membership that we talk about all the time. We'll just move right through that. Subscribe to become eligible to win a prize. Yesterday, the prize that was won was a Leonard jersey, current Colt, old number 15, and Riley Leonard. You get that jersey if your YouTube handle is ButterBasin1286. What are we doing? Get to me. Send me a DM with your name and address, ButterBasin1286, and I will send that jersey to you post haste. How about that? Eric says, when are you going to replace Stephen A. on the Bill O'Reilly show? Any update on AR? I am ready to talk about all things. I don't know that Bill O'Reilly and I get along real well. But hey, give me a call. I'm willing to take a shot. Hook up the iPhone, Do a Zoom? Let's go. There will be there is no update on Anthony Richardson. He broke his face, and so that face has got to heal. It's been surgically repaired, and we hope for the best, but it's got to heal before he's able to play. And the healing process is taking time. But make sure and subscribe and use the phrase that pays as your entry to win. Every Monday afternoon, we give away for the foreseeable future an autographed Colts jersey, either by a Colts all-time great or a current good player for the Colts. Riley Leonard qualifies. And you got to use the phrase that pays. And the phrase that pays today is boiler up with a question mark. I'm not going to make you put an exclamation point there. I just won't do it. And again, smash that like button. Okay, let's talk about the path to the playoffs for your Indianapolis Colts. The path to the playoffs is you got 2 games against the Texans. You're 3 games up on the Texans right now. You're 2 games up on the Jaguars. And you got 2 games against both these teams. You got to win 3 of those games. You win 3 of those games, you're going to win the AFC South. You split those games, it gets a little bit murky because your remaining games, other than those 4 against your AFC South rivals, not including the Titans, who are not really rivals at this point, are this weekend at Arrowhead Stadium, here against the San Francisco 49ers on a Monday Night Football, and in Seattle, which is a really tough place to play and win against the Seahawks. Those are 3 tough games, 2 of them on the road against really good teams. And so you got to take care of business against the Texans and the Jaguars, or there's a chance that all this goes poof, and what has been an absolutely wonderful start for the Colts winds up with an utter collapse of a finish. You've got to win every game you can. Winning against the Chiefs in Kansas City is not easy. Their last 4 wins have been at home by 17 against the Ravens, who are going to win the AFC North. 13 against the Lions, who are going to win the NFC North. 31 against the Raiders, who aren't going to win a damn thing. And 21 against the Commanders, who won the NFC East last year. So this is a really good football team who at home is borderline a great football team. You look at the way they've lost their games and the way they've won their games, you put that all together, and what you come up with is a projected record right now of 7-3. Instead, they're 5-5. They're a really, really good team. Toby says, when I was at Bloomington North High School, they used to say it's far better to lose at IU than win at Purdue. Is that wisdom still floating around Bloomington? Of course it is. And it's absolutely accurate. Like Purdue, I know a guy who coached at Purdue, brought his wife to West Lafayette for the first time. And the wife said, "What have you done? Where have you taken me?" That's all you need to know about Purdue. What you've got to do if you're the Indianapolis Colts and you want to win that division is you've got to adjust. You adjust, you adjust, you adjust. And the adjustment, you're going to have to do that over the course of a 17-game season. You're going to do what you do well. Defenses are going to adjust to that. And then you have to adjust to what the defenses have done. Defenses are going to adjust again. Your offense has got to figure it out. Whoever adjusts best last is going to win. And this week, will the Chiefs be the team that adjusts, or will the Colts be the team that adjusts? The blueprint is there, right? We saw it against the Steelers and against the Falcons. Get pressure on Daniel Jones. Collapse the pocket a little bit, come from the edges, and get to Daniel Jones. If you do, he's going to make mistakes with the football, or you're going to sack him. They got to figure out how to adjust to that level of pressure. And if the Colts are able to do that, they're going to win this Sunday in Kansas City. If they're not able to do that, they're going to lose in Kansas City. And it's just that simple. And then they're going to have to adjust because the Texans are no joke either. And when they roll into Lucas Oil Stadium, you're going to have to do the same damn thing. You're going to have to figure out how to be better against the Texans than you were against the Chiefs, and on and on and on and on. And if you can do that, you got a chance to win the AFC South and a good chance to win the AFC South. I need Kent the Outsider with insider information to update us next week's game, possibly flexed into prime time. I don't know. I don't even know what the time limitation is, even at this. I'll look that up. I'll figure that out. We'll talk about it this afternoon. This is why the NFL is a great league, because you adjust and adjust and adjust and adjust. And that's the way the game's played. Fernando Mendoza is making the rounds on media. He was on the Pat McAfee show yesterday. He was on the Big Ten Network yesterday. This is a bye week at a perfect time for Indiana University with Mendoza, with Signetti, with everybody who's got access to a microphone on a national portal to make the case that this is a kid you want to vote for the Heisman Trophy. Fernando Mendoza, not only statistically superb this year, and really right there, even Steven with Julian saying, he is outstanding as a teammate, as a human being, as a citizen. And when he makes his case, you listen. What he had to say on the Pat McAfee show yesterday was absolutely superb. That's the way you talk to the media. That's the way he is. I believe that everything that he said, and I can be a little bit of a cynic when it comes to talking to the media, I believe that Fernando Mendoza believed every word that he said to the media all day yesterday, but in particular to Pat McAfee and Darius Butler about who he is and how he goes about behaving and leading his team. A true servant leader. I don't like that term. I think it's nonsensical. How can you be a servant and a leader? Somehow, Fernando Mendoza manages to do both things at a really, really high level. Should he be the Heisman Trophy Award winner? Why wouldn't he be the Heisman Trophy Award winner? He is one of the best two quarterbacks in the Big Ten, and he would be like saying and he are 1A and 1B, and I'm not sure who 1A is. But this guy, as a human being, is exemplary. So why not spend your vote on an exemplary? Why not let that be the tiebreaker? HeisMendoza should win the Heisman Trophy. It would be the first in the history of Indiana University. Purdue back at number 1, and they should be. They beat Bama at Bama. Who's Houston beaten? Like that's how you figure out who you're going to vote for, right? Is you look at wins and you look at quality of wins. Nobody this year, I don't think yet, who plays Alabama at Alabama in the non-conference portion of your schedule. Why would you do that? It doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense unless you feel so good about your team that you feel like you're going to win. Matt Painter did it. Matt Painter was rewarded, and now they're number 1. And we don't get like snippy about Purdue being number 1 as Indiana fans because we haven't been number 1 in 12 years. And if you want to go back to when they were number 1 the time prior to that, that was 20 years prior to 2013. That was 32 years ago in 1993. Maybe we got to wait till 2033 for Indiana to be number 1 again. I hope like hell not. I liked being number 1 all the time. That was a lot of fun. We got to be haughty. Plus, with Knight, we got to say, and without NIL and that crap, saying, hey, these are normal college students. Nobody gets paid at Indiana. Nobody cheats. And they didn't. Nobody cheats now, but you don't have to. But Purdue back to number 1. Pacers last night, this was difficult to watch, minus brief windows where the Pacers really kind of rose up. Mathurin got a bunch of points in a very short period of time and has scored 25 points in 25 minutes, but he scored about 10 of them in 3 minutes and was quite incredible during those 3 minutes. And really, really fun to watch that. Getting him back makes his team much, much better. They play the Hornets tomorrow night. Hornets not very good. They are 4-10. The Pacers right now, they are 1-13. Let's celebrate some birthdays, shall we, on this rainy Tuesday in central Indiana. Karen Anson Licciardello celebrating a birthday. She is the sister of the great Nick Hansen, one of Lake Bluff's finest. And I don't understand. I look at the roster of Lake Bluff, Illinois, like village officials. I don't see Nick Hansen's name on there. I don't understand how he's not the village president. Absolutely absurd. What are you people doing? Somebody nominate Nick Hansen to be the village president. And he was our class president when I was an 8th grader. He did a hell of a job. Charles Egger says, morning, Kent. Fave college basketball freshman Pacers should pick. Holy hell. I take Boozer just because I've seen him a gob. I watched him play a couple of times live. He's awfully, awfully good, but I haven't seen everyone yet. Have a stellar day, everyone. You have a stellar day, Brian. But Karen, Nick's sister, celebrating a birthday today. David Carrillo, happy birthday. The great Craig Atkins, happy birthday. And Andrew Gardner, happy birthday. If today's your birthday, you celebrate like hell. If it's not your birthday, you celebrate somebody else. That's best done with an honest and specific compliment. Be good to each other, lift each other up, don't pull each other down. Be a force for good. We can solve all our problems, all the problems we got in our society, one at a time in it. If you're good enough to people and pay enough attention to people, you got a chance to lift that person who's going to lift another person who's going to lift another person and on down the road. All right, we will talk to you, the coordinators today. At about 12:25, you've got Lou Anarumo, who's always on time, and Jim Bob Cooter, who's not. So we'll have Lou Anarumo first, and then Jim Bob Cooter.